How India was formed, a story written in tears, faith, and freedom. India was not born in a single moment. She was not shaped in one battle, one treaty, or one sunrise. India was formed slowly, through prayers whispered in forests, through blood soaked into soil, through lullabies sung to hungry children, through chains that rattled for centuries, and through a dream that refused to die. This is not merely the story of a country. This is the story of a living soul. Before borders, before names. Long before the word India was spoken, the land already breathed. Rivers flowed like mothers, Sindhu, Ganga, Yamuna, Godavari, feeding villages that did not know they were building a civilization. People worshipped the sun, the trees, the earth beneath their feet. They sang, they fought, they loved, and they died, unaware that history was watching them. From the Indus Valley to the Gangetic Plains, from the Himalaya standing like silent guardians to the oceans whispering secrets, this land learned to endure. Empires rose and fell, the Mauryas, the Guptas, the Cholas, the Mughals. Kings ruled, poets wrote, temples and mosques touched the sky. The land changed rulers, languages, and gods, but it never lost its heartbeat. India was many things at once, a philosopher and a farmer, a warrior and a weaver, a saint and a skeptic. She was never one voice, but she was one song. When the Shups arrived. Then one day, the sea changed its mood. Strange ships arrived, first as traders, then as masters. The British East India Company came with ledgers in their hands and ambition in their eyes. They promised trade, but brought chains. They smiled while they measured the land, counted the people, and divided them on paper. Slowly, silently, control slipped away. Indian kings were dethroned. Farmers were taxed until their fields became graves. Weavers who once clothed the world broke their looms and their hearts. Famines came, not because there was no food, but because profit mattered more than life. India cried, but her cry was ignored. 1857, the first scream of rebellion. The year 1857 arrived like a storm. Soldiers, peasants, queens, and common people rose together. Rani Lakshmibai rode into battle with fire in her eyes. Mangal Pandey chose death over obedience. Old men lifted swords with shaking hands. Mothers sent their sons to fight, knowing they might never return. It was not perfectly planned. It was not fully united, but it was brave. The rebellion failed, but something powerful was born that year. Fear left Indian hearts. For the first time, India realized we can resist. Chains that could not silence a nation. The British tightened their grip after 1857. Laws became harsher. Voices were crushed. Jails filled with dreamers. Yet something strange happened. The more India was suppressed, the more she awakened. Teachers began to teach freedom. Newspapers printed courage. Poets wrote verses that burned. Thinkers spoke of Swaraj, self-rule, not as a fantasy, but as a destiny. From villages to cities, a quiet fire spread. The man who chose non-violence. Then came a man who looked ordinary. No weapons, no crown, just a stick, round glasses, and an unbreakable will. Mahatma Gandhi did something no one expected. He turned suffering into strength. He asked people to walk instead of fight, to fast instead of kill, to resist without hatred. When he marched to the sea to make salt, millions walked with him in spirit. When he went to jail, India felt imprisoned. When he spoke, even silence listened. The British had guns. India had courage, and courage began to win. Women, farmers, students, the forgotten heroes. India's freedom was not won by one man alone. It was won by women who hid revolutionaries under their roofs, by farmers who faced bullets with bare chests, by students who left classrooms for prisons, by workers who struck even when hunger waited at home. Bhagat Singh smiled at the gallows. Subhas Chandra Bose raised an army in exile. Sarojini Naidu sang freedom into existence. Countless names were never written, but their blood wrote history. India was no longer asleep. The painful price of freedom. But freedom came with a wound. As the British prepared to leave, they divided the land. Lines were drawn by strangers on maps that cut through hearts, homes, and histories. India was partitioned. Trains arrived filled with corpses. Families ran with nothing but fear. Neighbors turned into enemies overnight. Children were lost. Women were violated. Millions were displaced. Millions died. Freedom arrived, but it was drenched in tears. India wept as Pakistan was born from her side. The land screamed, but there was no turning back. 15 August 1947, midnight of destiny. At the stroke of midnight, India became free. The chains fell, the flag rose, the dream came true. Jawaharlal Nehru spoke of destiny. Crowds celebrated, fireworks lit the sky. But beneath the celebration was silence, for those who did not survive to see this day. Freedom was sweet. Freedom was painful. Freedom was unfinished. Building a nation from broken pieces. Independence was not the end, it was the beginning. India had to unite hundreds of princely states, feed millions of poor, heal religious wounds, write a constitution for 1 billion dreams. Dr. B.R. Ambedkar gave India a moral compass: equality, justice, liberty, fraternity. A promise that no Indian would be lesser than another. India chose democracy, not because it was easy, but because it was right. India today, still becoming. India is still being formed, in crowded cities and quiet villages, in debates and disagreements, in struggles and successes. She is imperfect, she argues, she stumbles, but she stands. Because India is not just land, India is people. She is the soldier at the border, the farmer in the field, the teacher in the classroom, the child who dreams bigger than yesterday. Conclusion: a nation that refused to die. India was formed not by power, but by patience, not by hate, but by hope, not by uniformity, but by unity in diversity. She was broken many times, but she never disappeared. Because India is not just a country. India is a promise that freedom is worth suffering, that unity can survive difference, that even after centuries of darkness, a nation can rise together. And she is still rising.